What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to the TB Toycast YouTube channel. Today we are unboxing Epic Toys Wrestling Megastars Retro Bobby the Brain Heenan. Probably the greatest manager of all time, and a guy that so desperately needed a retro figure. I'm really surprised that Epic pulled this one off, but they did. I really thought Mattel would make this one happen, but maybe Heenan's not under a Legends deal anymore. I don't know. I don't know how all that works necessarily, but one thing I do know, it's awesome to have this in the collection, and it was one I definitely couldn't pass up. Very cool packaging here, very old school style packaging. No J-hook. That's a little bit disappointing, but something I can overlook. I love the artwork there. And right there, of course, Bobby Heenan. We got the slipcover type packaging. Some people love it, some people hate it. Sound off in the comments. What do you guys think? It's not for everybody, of course, but you can slide it right in and out there. But I don't mind it. Of course, we got the tail of the tape there. 5'10", 242 pounds from Beverly Hills, California. Stick with him. He will take you to the top. The greatest manager in their history of wrestling can now guide your wrestling megastars to championship gold. Also available was Atsushi Onita, Boris Yukov, and Eddie Guerrero. I did pass on Eddie Guerrero. Didn't really feel like I needed that one, but I did pick up Onita and Boris Yukov, so those will both be coming up in future videos. So, what do you guys think of this? I know they've also done a variant Bobby Heenan. I'll throw a picture up right here. I believe he's in a black suit or black tuxedo. Very cool, but didn't feel like I needed both. But very happy to get Bobby in the collection. Like I said, I was really surprised that Mattel didn't put this one out. I know when they did Retro Mattel Wave 2, we got the Hart Foundation, Nikolai Volkov, and Jimmy Hart. I really thought Wave 3 was going to be the Heenan family. I figured, we'll get Bobby the Brain Heenan, we'll get a new Mattel Andre the Giant, and then maybe Paul Orndorff or somebody, because we didn't get him in the WrestleMania 1 set. And I was hoping for a King Harley for personal reasons, but that obviously has not happened. And who knows, maybe we won't get one. I don't know, but I would love to get another Mattel Bobby Heenan. I think he'd be great in the Superstars line. I'd love to get him in the Coliseum collection. And, and more Legends figures. We recently got that Weasel suit one, which I don't hate, but that's not the Bobby Heenan I remember. It's kind of a one-off. So, me personally, I would love the tuxedo, but I would also like the black pants and kind of like the warm-up jacket. That's the Bobby Heenan I remember as a manager. And one of the greatest ever to do it, no doubt about it. Bobby the Brain Heenan. So, definitely cool to get this. Like I said, the slipcover packaging, some people like it. I do like that this looks nice afterwards. It's not messed up. It's not destroyed. And you put this right back together if you so desire. So that's already unboxed. Not much to unbox, really. It's very, very simple. We're going to take a look at it. Of course, I love the hand pointing to the head. Absolutely fantastic. A lot of good texture on the suit, which I think is really cool. We got the pinky rings, got the watch on, the bracelet. A lot of attention to detail here. That head sculpt is, it's pretty close. I don't know if it's perfect Bobby Heenan, I would say, but it's pretty close. It's close enough that I wouldn't have any issue with it. He's one of those guys where his look is so unique. It's like when you put the hand up like that, like, oh yeah, it's Bobby Heenan. But it's just one of those things, if you just look at just the head, I don't know. I don't know if I would say that is him or not. But, again, I think for what we're doing here, I think it works perfectly. Set him up there. Oh, man. Looks absolutely fantastic. So, Bobby the Brain Heenan, I think a lot of people have talked about one of the greatest combinations of things. Let's see if we can do a little bit of zooming in here. Maybe get a smidge closer. But he was one of the greatest combinations of wrestler because he was good in the ring, he was a good announcer, and he was a good manager, which a lot of people don't have all three, right? And you take some of the greatest managers of all time, they may have not been the best wrestler, and they may have not been the best commentator, but Bobby Heenan was seemingly kind of a jack of all trades, and he's one of those guys in the history of the industry, you don't hear a lot of negative about him. A lot of people have a lot of positive things to say about Bobby, and I think that his legacy will always stand the test of time. A a WWE Hall of Famer, as we know, managed some of the greats, like I mentioned, King Harley Race, managed Mr. Perfect, another favorite of mine. How about this guy, one that I would love to have in one of the retro collections, Ravishing Rick Rude. Of course, managed the one and only, the eighth wonder of the world, Andre the Giant, and so many others. Bobby Heenan, of course, left the WWE in 1993 and went over to WCW and became a commentator over there. I felt like he added a lot to like Goldberg's run. He called him the man. I felt like he did a lot for that company that does get a little overlooked, which is unfortunate. But like I said, Bobby Heenan was absolutely one of the greatest of all time. And to me, will always go down as probably the greatest commentator and the greatest manager of all time. One of the greatest heel commentators of all time, for sure. I loved him in Gorilla Monsoon. I think most people did. That's the soundtrack to my childhood, right? And to this day, I much prefer Golden Era wrestling over almost any other era. And I know that people have a fondness for the Attitude Era, or even maybe the current day product, but it still just doesn't hit to me like, 91 to about 93. That is my jam. And I think that was because when I did the most watching of the industry. And so that time period will always hold a special place in my heart. And Bobby Heenan is a big reason for that, from all his contributions to the industry at that time. So definitely a really fun figure. I can compare it here to a couple of other suited figures that I've unboxed here recently. How about this guy? We got Chris Van Vliet there from Rush Collectibles. And another suited gentleman here from Hastel Toy, Grapplers and Gimmicks. We got Kurt Fuller. So we got kind of three different sizes there, but all within kind of the same range. Chris Van Vliet looks like he's probably a taller guy, so I think that kind of works. But what do you guys think? Did you guys pick any of these up? Are you picking up Bobby Heenan? Have you picked up Bobby Heenan? Hoping for maybe a Mattel release. Like I said, I think it's definitely one that was needed in the retro collection, and good on Epic for making that happen. Epic has definitely been hitting some home runs lately. I think Series 4's pre-order just wrapped up, which included Dr. Death Steve Williams, the Barbarian, which is the very first time we've gotten Barbarian with like the what I always called like the antler gear, because he had the antlers on his headpiece. I always liked that look a lot. We never really got that in action figure form. I think Jack's Classic kind of did it once, but it didn't totally hit for me. We're also getting Ric Flair with a robe, I believe first time ever in retro form, and Barry Windham, his first retro, I believe, ever, which is a pretty big one. So that's a pretty good set. Very, very excited about grabbing all of those. I think I got them all ordered. I need to double check before that pre-order ends, because as of this recording, it has not ended. So, but yeah, Bobby Heenan. We'll take another quick look at it. Like I said, I love the texture of the suit. Kind of gives it that sparkly feel which he would wear. Like I said, really, really top-notch figure. Can't say enough good things about this one. And I think doing the finger point to the head just makes it all that much better. Absolutely excellent. If you stick with me, you'll go to the top. If you don't stick with me, you will never be heard from again. The one and only Bobby the Brain Heenan. Very, very cool. But if you guys enjoyed this unboxing, check out some of my other unboxings on YouTube. I do new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You just saw Chris Van Vliet. I unboxed that one from Rush Collectibles. Check that out in the archives. You also saw Kurt Fuller from Hastel Toy, Grapplers and Gimmicks. You can check that one out in the archives as well. I've also recently unboxed, how about Static Shock from McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse. Terrible news, McFarlane losing the DC license. I think they got it for about another year or so, but man, super disappointing. Not excited about that whatsoever. I've also recently unboxed the Fish Trooper from the Fist collection. Really, really fun stuff. I've done some Super 7. How about the Michelangelo Super 7 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Ultimate figure? And also some Thundercats. I recently unboxed the Super 7 Deluxe Lion-O. That was one of my first videos, as a matter of fact. And more recently, the Super 7 Deluxe Monkeyin. Both of those available in the archives. And so many others. So many other videos. from wrestling to Transformers to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles to Spawn. I try to unbox a wide variety of different stuff because that's what I'm into. I love checking out different lines, and hopefully you guys enjoy that as well. And if there's stuff you'd like to see me unbox, hit me up. Maybe it's something that's on my list and it hasn't happened yet, but maybe it's on its way. You never know. So check that out for sure. And also check out the TB Toycast podcast. Every Thursday, me and Travis, we have a different main event where we discuss a different toy line. And we also dive into the news of that week, things that we're picking up, things that we're excited about, news that's dropping, maybe some predictions of what we think might be happening. So it's always a lot of fun. We drop a new episode every Thursday wherever you get your podcasts. But that's about all I got for this one. I love all the retros. I got more retros coming up. I got Hastel toy retros coming up. I got Zombie Sailor toy retros coming up. I haven't had any Zombie Sailor figures on this podcast yet. Or not on this podcast, on this channel yet. Because by the time I started it, I had nothing to open. But I've gotten 3 since then. I've gotten Big Bully Busick, Chris Candido, and I just got in today, as I record this, CM Punk. All will be coming up on the channel sooner rather than later. Very excited about that. But that's all I got. Thank you guys for checking out another TB Toycast unboxing. I forget what I was saying there for a second. And hopefully you guys enjoyed it. That's Bobby the Brain Heenan. And I will see you guys in the toy aisle.
Yeah. One more time. It ain't over till I say it's over. So lock the cage up, cause this is a takeover. The wait's over. If this the final time we meet, then you'll be on your back on my feet. Then I'll tip the cage over as a hangover. I'm super fly so I can splash off the top. And I can shut down the shot.